How you doing, brothers and sisters? I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to make another video today, but I got some inspiration yesterday, so figured I'd share one. The first thing I wanted to cover real quick was an apology to Richie from Boston. I already apologized to him, and I didn't do anything intentionally, but he had a live show on the other day, and I had sent him a text. He had we had emailed back and forth a couple times before a while ago, and I didn't even realize that he had included his phone number. So I recently had gone back and I saw it was on there, and I saw that he had a live show on the other day, and I texted him hoping that I could get this information to him because I know he has a pretty good sized audience, and I guess the text was a little too long. I mean, really, it was one text and it was a couple sentences, but sometimes I forget. I was thinking more of I was texting him at his show, but I guess I forgot too that he's just a man and very busy man, and like we all are, and bad timing. I guess my intent was it was a good time to catch him during the show, that maybe it'll work out that way. And the funny thing of it is that I don't even want attention. I've never wanted attention. I don't like attention, and I've always done things in my life, unfortunately, that have brought me attention. Uh, although for the last 10 years or so, I've done pretty good to stay out of it, but I really haven't, I've never wanted it. In my eyes, usually attention from people is just, unfortunately, in the world we're in, is people just wanting something from you or wanting you to make them feel a certain way. Or so, honestly, I rather, my whole life, I kind of just preferred to be by myself, just a couple good friends, love animals, uh, some close family members, but even them, unfortunately, in my family, it's not very close. Um, so again, Richie, if you get this, I just wanted to say sorry. My intention wasn't to uh, piss you off, and again, I just want the information out because I know what a difference it can make, and it can actually change things right away if people start getting this. And I know what happens, and this is what I'm looking forward to, is after the information gets out, it doesn't matter where it came from, it's out. So I feel like then my job's done. My mission's done. It's out there, it's spread, and then it's exponential, and then I can be forgotten about again. Um, so that's my hopes. Um, and also, I wanted to thank Lynne. I was having a rough couple weeks, and she sent me a couple nice comments and messages, and I just wanted to thank you, Lynne. Sometimes those little things can really help somebody. Just that little bit of fellowship, and someone taking the time to say something nice, or listen to you, or you can share information, uh, is a huge thing for someone. All right, a couple other things I wanted to go over today that I found, um, I thought was pretty interesting. Again, with this word game, if someone's watching this for the first time, we've all been exposed a little bit to it. I think different people are, and it's so frustrating for me because I see everyone gets a little piece of it, but they stop. And I see a lot of it now. People talking about, well, this word means this. Yeah, don't stop there. That's the key to everything. It's the definitions. The people in charge, whether they're demons or Nephilim or Illuminati, whatever, everything they're saying to us is absolutely true, even when they're lying. Every word has been created so it has multiple meanings, and usually, if not always, there's contradictory meanings, and everything is said precisely and perfectly. Like the word angel, again, or I will go to or out of chaos. I like that one because the Freemasons use it. It's on the cover of Morals and Dogma. We all know what it means on the surface level, but order. If you go to the free dictionary online and type in order and read all the definitions, you'll see order. One of the definitions is one of the 9 sects of angels. Sex requires of angels. That's what it is. One of the 9 sex or quarrels of angels. Yeah, and then chaos means the abyss. So again, they're telling us who they worship. They're worshiping one of the 9 sects or choirs of angels out of the abyss. That's who they want to free. They're telling us. CERN. CERN with an E literally means a circle, a magic circle to summon forth demons. It's not the Mandela effect, it's Mandala. Mandala means the same thing. It's a magic circle. Alien. Yeah, they are aliens. They are foreign from here, but alien also means alien. Like they put a lien on us. Another funny one that I found just recently was, you know how they keep talking about we're waiting for disclosure, you know, the aliens' disclosure. Well, you can separate that first. That's the funny part. Disc closure, like the disc of the earth, flat earth, but also disclosure, if you look it up, literally means revelation, apocalypse, disclosure of information to man by divine or supernatural agency. Let's see what else we have. The etymology of genius, I thought this was pretty neat. The angel that waits on man, be it good or evil. You know, the ones that are assigned to us from birth. What else did we find? And again, there's so many. How it pertains to the courts, I've gone over this. Literally, the legal society is nothing more than a fraternal society. Legal and lawful are 2 different things. It's a club, and they have codes. How the law works is the legislators, they create a public law, and that's written in parchment and it's literally enrolled at the Capitol. Then any society can come in and view that public law, and then they can draft their codes according to the public law. You know, their own personal, you know, punishments or, you know, consequences, or, you know, what happens if you break the code. So, you know, if you, like a good example is O.J. Simpson, you know, if he did something wrong, you know, or like with his trial, he was found innocent of the criminal trial. He was found guilty of the civil trial. If he was still a member of the NFL, they could impose sanctions upon him or not. They could have their own trial. He was an actor, so the Screen Actors Guild, they could have their own penalties or not, find him innocent or guilty. You know, if he was in a fraternity in college, they could do the same. Each one is its own society. So we have law at the top. God is right under man, underneath the pyramid. We're created in his image. Well, obviously, our servants, our ministers, our servants, our administrators don't like that. You know, these angels who were here to be governors, governesses to us, you know, and watch over us, don't like that. It's the bad genie in the bottle. They have to serve us, but they don't want to, so what do? You create a language with multiple meanings, and you have us ask for things that we mean one thing, but you can literally take it another. You know, I wish for, you know, eternal life. Okay, I'll give you eternal life, but you're going to burn forever. You know, you're not specifying how you want it. And it's impossible. These languages today are bastard languages. That's what the whole purpose of God dividing the languages and giving them the pure languages again. And that quickly, the whole world with Nimrod and the Tower of Babel, it was brought back under one language, you know. And that's the point. People are so controlled by words, they don't even realize how controlled they are. You know, if you get a legal document, you have no clue. They're not writing to you, first of all. They're writing to that legal name, that legal person, or that legal society. And it doesn't exist until you manifest it, until you believe it's you, and you answer back. The same thing, a man wearing a robe, you know, he's your judge? No, he's a man. He's not fit to judge me. You know, a man created the office of judge. How can a judge judge a man? He can only judge the legal person. So if you're a member of that society, and if you ask them, you can just ask them, you know, is this judicial or is this administrative? They'll tell you it's administrative. Like if you worked for Pepsi or any other corporation, you know, and you broke a rule and you got brought before the administration board. And what I found, and well, if you check out Carl Lentz, Karl Lentz, he found the missing piece in the common law. how to actually hold your own court. You know, the little words are some of the most important ones. In and at. You know, they tell you you're in the court of common pleas. Or if you're in the court, it's like, you know, you're in the rock. You're inside something. You don't want to be inside of it, because if you're inside of it, you're a piece of it. You're controlled by it. Like, we get so used to saying, you know, going in somewhere. I live in Pennsylvania. No, you're at. At is location. So if you're at something, like attorneys at law, they're not attorneys in law. You have a mother-in-law because, you know, the marriage contract created that law, and now she's your mother-in-law. What else do we have? So basically how you would do it is, okay, legally, if you're going, you know, 40 and a 25, yes, maybe the legal code, you violated or you broken the code, but you know, honestly, they write it so there's always an escape, like the word shall is future tense, and like there's so many loopholes in it, it's ridiculous. And the whole point of the legal system, like any other society, is so you can favor one group of people and punish the other. It's all about control and creating a hierarchy, where God didn't want a hierarchy on earth. You know, he didn't want that. He didn't want Israel to have a king. You know, he wanted us all govern ourselves. And that's why in this world, they make words like anarchy into a bad word. They make it sound like it's insanity and riots, and no, it just means self-governance. You know, that there's no central government. And again, what does government mean? We all know this. I think we've all heard this. You know, govern means to control and ment of the mind. That's all this is. It's all because we believe in it. And I think most of us know that, but we don't believe that there's any way out. And there is, you know, because again, government was created for the benefit of man. All these positions were created for the benefit of man. These titles, all created for the benefit of man. You don't have to, there's no law that requires a man to accept any title. You know, if it's a benefit of the time, sure. But they're always presuming it's a benefit because you haven't stated otherwise. You haven't said it was causing you harm, injury, or loss. So that's where the claim comes in. All they can do in legal land is make complaints, because no one's going to swear to it. You know, this way there's no liability. They're all protected under color of law. So that's where the claim would come in. Claim is three-dimension. Claim is only a man can make a claim. And when I say man, I mean man and woman. Just, you know, the kind, or what they would call species. So I'm referring to both. But if you look at any code, ordinance, statute, rule, regulation, it always says person or persons. Never says people, never says man, never says woman. Person or persons. Person comes from the word persona, a mask an actor wears on stage. And that's what this place is. This is the masquerade ball. You know, and that's why they like to do those things in Eyes Wide Shut, is because we're all wearing our masks here. You know, there's the true man or woman, or the true demon or devil. Demon isn't in the King James Bible. It's always devil, because demon is a word that refers to the old gods and can have a positive meaning. So it's always devil, and it's basically everyone's in disguise here. And in their world, it's absolutely backwards. Like even in the military, you know, what do you start off as? Private. Private's bad. You know, private's the lowest rank. And then you work your way all the way up to general. You know, that means everyone. General. That's communist meaning. General. Everyone. Private is bad. General is good. So it's the exact opposite. It's the upside down pyramid. So they're always telling us the truth. So if they say, you know, let me see. I'll type it in. So if, you know, if Neil deGrasse Tyson or someone says the world is a sphere, Earth is a sphere. Okay, it's what's that? Look up all the meanings. A three-dimensional surface, all points of which are equidistant from a fixed point. Okay, that doesn't sound like a ball to me. Let's see. The sky appearing as a hemisphere to an observer. What else? Astronomy, the night sky considered as a vaulted roof, firmament, uh, to surround or encircle, to place aloft or in the heavens. And then as you go down further, they give you better meanings. So, let's see. Arena, domain, orbit, area, field, the beast of the field, an arena, a domain, like a dimension. Kingdom, realm, land, political arena. What else? And I think it's pretty funny, like William Shakespeare, the Globe Theater. And what do we have today? It's the Globe Theater, NASA, the actors. They're all actors, even the politicians. They even create acts. Field, range, area, department, function, territory, capacity, province, patch, scope, realm, domain, compass, walk of life, rank, class, station status, stratum, jurisdiction. And really all this is, it's all like a legal, a court case going on. Again, our adversary, the devil, the prosecutor, he doesn't mind sin. He just hates the forgiveness part. He wants to see us all punished. And people have to realize the nature of the game we're in. There's only two choices here. There's two contracts. The Bible's two contracts. The Old Testament, which has been fulfilled by Jesus. So he created the New Testament, the new contract. And if you accept the new contract, if you agree to the terms and conditions, which were only love God with all your heart and love your neighbor as yourself, then your debts are already paid for. And that's talked about all through the Bible. And also what's talked about is the letter of the law versus the spirit of the law. Like the intent of the law. Thou shalt not kill. I've used that example before. Well, the intent, I believe, is clear. People shouldn't kill. But if you want to go by the letter, my name's Harry, it's not thou. And shalt is a future term word, so, right now I can do what I want, do what thou will. But later on, I shouldn't kill. And, what if I don't kill? What if I just, shoot or hang? Or that's the game they're playing. It's a childish 5-year-old game, but that's what they're doing, you have the conversation with your mom and when you're a kid and she tells you to cut the grass and you're like, oh, come on, Mom, I'll do it tomorrow. And then the next day comes and she says, okay, time to cut the grass, Junior. And you say, oh, no, 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 Mom, we agreed on tomorrow. It's still today. So that's the game they're playing. Once you believe that you're a man created in the image of God and you can do whatever you want as long as you don't cause any harm, injury, or loss to your fellow man, then what you have done or haven't done is not unlawful. May be illegal, but if you're not a legal person, if you're not a member of the legal society, then it doesn't matter. Again, one of my favorites was angel, and we all think we know what an angel is, but if you go down on that free dictionary, definition number 6, a financial backer of an enterprise, especially a dramatic production or a political campaign. Okay. What else? The tree. I like that. The word tree. That's one of the first ones I looked up, and I don't, who would look that word up, but I was always thinking the tree of life and the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. And it was literally a figure that branches from a single genealogical root, like the top of the family tree, the one that came directly from God. So, Adam was a tree. He came directly from God, and the tree of the knowledge of good and evil was the devil. He came directly from God. And then when Eve ate of the fruit, the fruit of the tree, well, what was that? The devil's son, Apollyon, apple, Apollyon, these little play on words, the apple that Eve ate from the tree. And it's funny, the King James uses eat, but I also found it was pretty funny if you type in the word ate, A-T-E, and look up the meaning of that, and there's really only one meaning for that word, and it says, the goddess of criminal rashness and consequent punishment. So, a goddess who makes men blind so they will blunder into guilty acts. And I think they also play the game where 8 is like the number 8. And the reason they like that 8 so much, obviously it's the infinity symbol, but why 8 is so important is because that's what this world is. It's like a, a movie or a record that replays over and over again. It's just never ending. And it's always about creating this one world government and opposition to God and set it all up, in the one world order, and then, it gets to the point and it's destroyed. That's and every time they think they can do it, and they believe it every single time, and every time it fails. It's like, the punishments in the old legends or lore, pushing the boulder up the hill every day, and what to do? It rolls back down. But the next day you think you're going to do it. It's the insanity, thinking that this time it's going to work. This time it's going to work. But it never does. And also the number 8 is so important because, of the antichrists. Obviously, when it says he is the 8th, but of the 7. And a lot of people think that final one is Nimrod, but I don't believe so. I think it's obviously that 8th is the first one, which was Apollyon. I think also might have been Cain. I'm not positive on that, but that's my belief, is that that Cain was a child of the devil, or he was actually a child of Apollyon, and that was his son or him incarnate on earth. I'm not sure how it works, but and Cain, people forget, they always talk about Nimrod, but Cain was the first one who created the world government. He created the first cities and civilization. And Gary Wayne goes into the sacred sciences, the 7 sacred sciences, the liberal arts, what they teach today. And the whole point of all that is to create this fake society. Like, the real world is basically what us living off the land, that's the real world, how we would normally live. Everyone just, just doing work to survive and spending time with their family and trading with each other. The fake world is the whole money, the currencies, and the cities, and everything that's going on today, because it's all just steering towards our destruction, towards this one world government that's going to be destroyed again. So let's look up some other words. Okay, serpent, a snake, in the Bible, the creature that tempted Eve, a subtle, sly, or treacherous person, a firework that rises while burning, deep-voiced wind instrument or serpentine shape used principally, blah blah blah, made with brass or wood. Anything else good in here? A sly, deceitful, or unscrupulous person. And it's funny, like the snake, I think why the snake, a wily or treacherous or malicious person, the devil, Satan, why it's so talked about is obviously the movement it makes, how it slithers through, but what does it do? It expands and contracts, and contracts, that's what we're all bound by in this world. Everything we do is by contract. So, and again, the expansion and the contraction, the two opposite movements. Like, that's why the Hegelian dialectic is what is needed. It needs the left and the right to fight because it feeds off the fight. It doesn't care about the issue. It cares about the fight. That's what supplies its energy. The blood that's sacrificed in war. It doesn't care about the war. There's no real issue at war. It just needs the bloodshed and sacrifice for them to survive, because they're rotten fruit. They're not connected to the tree of life anymore. So they need to feed off of things that still are connected to the tree of life. They're feeding off of us. And so they have to create all these dramatic productions going on that we believe in to create the food, their energy source. Because really, I mean, when people stop and think for 5 seconds, that there's no reason for us to have war. And it's always these people, like, you want to blame it on this group, that group. It's these Luciferians, it's these demons in disguise, or these devils in disguise. It's these possessed people, it's these children, the Illuminati, that are related of the Nephilim hybrid. It's a different race. When they talk about being racist today, they're black, white, none of us are that. there's two races, you know, that of man and the human, hue. The word human's never in the Bible, King James Bible. Hue means like the color of man, to change, to modify. Uh, it's kind of like man, but it's not man. So that's what they use the word human. Because if you're human, you're not man. You're not created in God's image. You're altered, you know, like the mark of the beast. And it's all, again, if you study contract law, it's all about that. You know, you have a contract. If you change one word, you're now liable. It's not the same contract. You're the new author. You're the new creator of it. And with that, only you can interpret it. You know, I can draw a picture of 10 people being, it looks like 10 people being murdered. And if someone wants to, you know, if you're a kid in school, if this happens to one of your kids, if they draw a picture and a teacher comes up to you and says, well, you know, this is disturbing, it's people being killed, and it's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Did you draw this? Oh, you didn't draw it. So how do you know what it is? That's your opinion. That's a lovely opinion, but only the artist can say what it is. Junior, what's this? What's this picture of? Oh, it's really my interpretation of you know, what an atom looks like when it's you know, exploding into and life being created, and you know what I mean. It's like Van Gogh, or you know, one of these crazy artists, and it's all art. It's all terms of art, works of art, and what they have to do is get you to believe. Again, like the word "you." If you start looking at these documents, these legal documents, you'll start seeing all these word tricks. They'll use the word you know, 27 times in a paragraph. You is always plural, you know. That's why the King James uses the thee and the thou. It's specific. It's grammatically correct. And when you use the word you, it's the you game. You is plural, so it's a joinder word. If you look up surety in the King James Bible, it warns us about being surety, insurance. That's why the insurance companies rule, because it's like a mockery imitating Jesus. He was our surety. He came into this world. He insured us. He paid our bond. He paid our debt, our sin. And what they're trying to do is make us surety, make us liable for the acts of that legal person, that legal name. You know, is that your name, that legal name? No, it's not mine. I didn't create it. I'm not the author of that name. You know, you have to separate yourself from that legal name, that legal person. Yes, it looks like mine, but it's not. You know, um, what else? Words. I mean, every word. Sometimes I just get overwhelmed because it's everything. Let me see what I have. It's even the sounding words. Like they do it in the movies. I've talked about this before. You know, like the Matrix. Matrix literally means womb, but the names like Neo. His name's Thomas Neo Anderson. Thomas means twin. Neo means new. Ander means son or man. So literally, he's the new son of man, and Thomas means twin. So that's where the cloning comes in. The image of the beast. If you look up the word image, one of the meanings is literally a clone. Um, and I think that's why the devil copies everything, is because he's trying to create the formula. He thinks if he can copy everything just right and do the exact ritual, the exact um, representation of his story, God's story, his story, that he can be like God. He can be like the Most High. You know, like his son, the Antichrist, Apollyon, coming back. I believe he's coming back in the clone body of Jesus. So, again, is it Jesus? Well, literally, by the letter of the law it is, because it's the same body, the same DNA. But is it Jesus? No, by the spirit of the law, it's the opposite. It's not him. It's far from him. So technically, you know what I mean? Like they're always saying technically, you know, yes, you know, it is. Same thing with why I believe Satan argued with the body of Moses, you know, with Michael, because, you know, obviously he wanted the body for a reason. You know, was Akhenaten in the clone body of Moses? Because there's an argument that Akhenaten was Moses, you know, and obviously I don't think they were the same people, but was Akhenaten one of these Antichrist types, these spirits, in the clone body of Moses to be the lawbringer? Is the changing of the law. He was the one who changed the laws then, the beliefs. You know, the same thing what they're saying about Obama. They look like Akhenaten. Was Obama a cloned body filled with some other spirit? You know, and again, it's funny, like the spirit, like frogs, the three spirit, like people would think the Antichrist, there's one character at the end. You know, it's three spirits like frogs. And why frogs? Well, what does the word amphibian mean? Frogs are amphibians, right? So what does amphibian? We'll go to the etymology. Uh, Etymoline.com. ETYMONLINE.com. What's it mean? Having two modes of existence of doubtful nature, from this living a double life of both kinds. Doesn't sound like what they're doing. Combining two qualities, having two modes of life, living both on land and in water. And that's, you know, again, the punishments God sends, like the flood to wipe out the Nephilim, they turn around and they try to use to punish us. So what they're using today, these legal codes, is old merchant law, it's old admiralty, law of the sea. Common law is law of the land, the unwritten law. They use the written code law, the law of the sea, merchant law. So all these terms like driving, you know, driver's license. Driving is a commercial term. It's about making money by driving. Go to traffic court. Traffic is a commercial term. It's about trafficking, using, you know, shipping things for payment. So, and there's a Bible verse about, you know, the trafficking of his merchandise, or, and it's talking about the devil, you know, traffic, to buy and sell, to trade, commerce. And I believe, you know, like that's when I talk about Jesus being sharper than any two-edged sword. Well, that's what the devil's game here is, this dual nature. And the word dual, you know, dual meaning two, but D-U-E-L, a duel, a fight between the two people, a duel. Jesus is sharper than that. The truth is going to pierce that that two-edged sword, you know, that forked tongue. It's the straight and narrow path. So again, like there's always a way to beat it. How Jesus always beat them when they would try to question him, you know, he would have hit them with a question they couldn't answer. So, like, you know, the word game, using it back on them, is how you defeat them. You know, whoever's questioning, question asking, quest ion as king, question asking. You know, it's all in the words. Like one example would be like in the end when it says, you know, whoever who wants to buy or sell with the mark of the beast. Okay, well, why do I have to buy and sell? Why can't I just give? Why can't I trade? Why can't I donate? Why can't I receive a present or a gift? You know what I mean? Like, it's not just yes or no. It can be both or neither or whatever you can think of. You know, like, again, I like the examples now because nothing can be proven. No intent can ever be proven. And in this world of duality, you know, you're only limited by your imagination. So, like, if they said, you know, you got pulled over, oh, you were going, you know, 80 miles an hour, you could have killed someone. Or I could have got to the burning building and saved everyone. So, do I get a medal? You're going to give me a ticket and a reward? Do they cancel each other out? Can I just have the reward? You know, oh, I saw you do that. Oh, you did you? So you were with me every single day of my life. You know it was me. You know there's no people out there that look like me. You know I don't have any twins. You know there's not a genetic copy of me, a clone somewhere. You took my blood at the scene and you had it analyzed and were there the whole time and watched the chain of custody of that blood, and it was mine. And you know that no two people can ever have the same exact type of blood. And you know what I mean? Like, that's what lawyers do. That's why it's such a joke. It's the precedent game. You know, I said that before. Smith versus Jones in '83 says yes, but Jones versus Smith in '84 says no. So you can do whatever you were going to do, and it just sounds like we had some kind of justice here. And I think it's funny that all these words pertain to, you know, a lot of these words pertain to ice. I think that has to do with either the Antarctic or the North Pole with the flat Earth. What's buried, the face of the deep is frozen. It talks about in the Bible. You know, they talk about the global warming today. Are they trying to let something out of that pit? Is something going to be released? You know, the devil with his pitchfork, vibration, a tuning fork, frequency, vibration. It's not an instrument for just baling hay. You know, it's all about frequency, vibration. And what's funny is even that these people that don't know that are in these offices, these are public servants, it seems though when you use the right words and you believe what you're saying, magically, magistrate, magus, magi, magic, all seem to work out. If one of them give you a piece of paper or tell you that you have to do something, they want you to argue because court is where you go to argue where there's a controversy. Most court cases are settled out of court. That's settling the matter in private. Well, not attorneys are just a third-party debt collector. You turn that over to someone else to handle it because you're a baby. You can't do it yourself. Well, why can't you propose a settlement? Someone comes at you, instead of getting mad or throwing the paper away or telling them to F off, say, oh, I'd love to do that. Can you just put it in the form of an order, write it out and sign it? I'd be happy to do it. And then before you start actually doing it, if they're stupid enough to put it in writing, you send them a bill. Hey, Bob, thanks for your lovely order. You gave me an order, or even if they say invoice, you gave me an order invoice, an invoice. Before I start the order, I am going to require a down payment of $10,000 and another $2,000 for materials and blah blah blah. And you're going to see that they no longer want to place their order with you. Like if you walk into a expensive restaurant and there's no prices on the menu and you start ordering away, at the end they hand you a bill for $1 million. Well, guess what? You're liable. There is no slavery today, so every man is due fair and just compensation. I do think it's funny. Another quick one, the etymology of the word code is literally like that's what they're using, a code. And what's a code for? To trick people. A code is so some people know and some people don't, like symbols. That's all words are, is just symbols. They're hieroglyphics, they're pictures, and you're assuming, when you assume something, you're liable for it. And I assume is Assyrian, Sumerian mixed. So we're assuming what they mean, and again, only the artist can say what it definitely means. So the word code, the etymology, literally is a tree trunk. I thought that was interesting. And then you even think about, like the Bible talks about the tongue, how it can't be tamed, and Pandora's box, and what do we have? And it talks about the voice, the frequency to speak, to utter. We have a windpipe, we have vocal cords, we have a voice box, Pandora's box, the black box. Everything's by words and belief here. That's why Jesus Christ, if you look up the word, it'll literally say Jesus Christ. That'll be one of the definitions. So for the people that don't believe the Bible, okay, do you not believe the dictionary? Because it doesn't say Mickey Mouse. It literally says, let's see, what definition is it? Word, something said, an utterance, remark, or comment, assurance, promise, sworn intention, meaning number. Where is it? I know they try to hide it, but it's always there. Ecclesiastical terms, Christianity, the second person of the Trinity. There you go. And it's funny, if you haven't seen how I was woken up, I thought it was a pretty neat how God did it. But before I even knew what it was about, he had left 3 books on my doorstep, 2 King James Bibles and a dictionary. And it took me a long time to realize, that was part of my awakening. It was, and then later on that had to do with what I was being shown. But in that dictionary, the word legal, it's literally defined as salvation, the belief of salvation through good works, the old Mosaic law. That's legal, as opposed to belief by grace and mercy. It's works-based belief, and that's what every other belief system in the world is based on their works. That's the Old Testament. You're going to be judged by your works, and we're all guilty. Good deeds don't wipe out bad deeds. Like if you rob a store, it doesn't get discounted because you didn't rob the store next to it. You know, so if you don't accept, if you don't make a claim for Jesus' blood, for his salvation, you're going to be judged by every single thing you've ever done, every sin, every wrongful act you've ever done. And what's funny is people take the law separately. No, it's one lawful document, you know. So if you break one part of it, you're guilty for the whole thing. You know, like if you let's see, if you put, you know, if you build a building and you miss, you know, the foundation piece, it all falls down. It all falls apart. So that's why if you're making a notice or if you're putting in a claim, you do it with very simple words, very one thing at a time, one part at a time. That way, if you get one wrong, it doesn't cancel out the other separate documents. You know, just like a contract, you break one piece of the contract is broken. You know, the whole thing. So that's why you want to separate it. If next time, I think I'm going to do a video. I'm going to show how I've used some of this stuff successfully, um, and show some of the documentation. But I think that's all I can do for today, guys. God bless you all, and thank you. And like I said, just try to look this stuff up. Just look any word. Just try to remember. Just type it in, free dictionary, or go to the etymology, the etymoline.com, and just start reading. I mean, you'll be amazed at the stuff you find. It's really gives you deeper insight. You know, Jesus comes with a shout. Shout, that literally means claim. You know, he comes back to claim what's rightfully his, those that have claimed him. You know, I mean, it just gives such a deeper meaning when you look at these words, because God writes on so many levels that I don't believe any one of us can fully know, you know, unless he wanted us to fully know. But, you know, it's just endless dimensions and depths to his word. And, you know, he wants us to seek that out. All right, God bless you guys. Thank you. And, you know, just try to keep each other up. You know, the enemy, why they do so well here is because and I hate to say it, they work together much better than we do. So let's just try to be a little more patient with each other and help each other out. And if we disagree on certain points, you know, we don't have to agree on everything. You know, we're all just trying to figure out. We know the basic, we know the most important parts, and the details we're trying to figure out. So we can just, you know, brainstorm together and pray and share what God shows us. You know, we're all given pieces to this big puzzle. Take care, guys. God bless you. Bye.